Hi everyone, we're back for a podcast today. This is Veronique and Sylvia. Hi Sylvia, how are you?
Hi everyone. Doing good.
Cool. So today we have another guest, and let me introduce you to Lady Kondo. Hi Lady Kondo, how are you?
Hello, I am fine. Thank you for having me tonight. Thank you so much.
Sure. So Lady Kondo lives in England, so we're calling in the UK right now. So it's a bit late for you, not too late. So we're going to try not to keep you too late.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I am well supported by a little bubble.
Okay. Perfect.
Awesome.
So you wrote a book about your spiritual journey, and we were really interested to know a bit more about it. So first, can you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Oh, thank you. So I'm Lady Kondo, as you said. I'm originally from Guinea-Conakry. I speak French. I was brought up in France. As you said, I live in the UK for more than 20 years with my partner. And I am a Buddhist and I chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. I suffer from sarcoidosis, which is an autoimmune illness. And sarcoidosis led me to write the book that you mentioned, Manifesto from a Woman, which is a spiritual journey. I think that's what I can say to introduce myself.
Okay. Yeah, and the book is available on Amazon, right?
That's correct, yes. Paperback and also Kindle.
Okay. So my first question for you is, how did you come to become a Buddhist?
Thank you.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, Buddhism is very vast. The Buddhism that I practice is Nichiren Daishonin's teaching. I met Buddhism when I was 19 at university. I connected with this woman. She told me that she was a Buddhist and she chanted those words. And she said to me, very confidently actually, if I chant, she said, if you chant, your life will change. I mean, obviously I was 19, so I didn't think this way, but she was so compassionate and sincere. So I decided to try. I tried. I liked the ideas, the philosophy, but I didn't really believe my life would change. And to be honest, what do I know about life at the age of 19? So I left it there. Then I came to the UK, and I think there was something about Buddhism that stayed with me. And I started my real journey through Buddhism chanting in the UK. Next year will mark 30 years of me chanting. So.
Wow. Well, so can you describe, for I think a lot of people are not familiar with Buddhism. What is it? What is Buddhism like, and what do you work with, or just for people to get familiar with it who are not aware of. They've heard of Buddhism, but they don't really know what is practiced,
Wow.
And what is involved. Yeah.
Okay.
At least the type that you're following, right? The type that you follow.
So as I mentioned earlier, Buddhism is very vast. Buddhism has its own history, and the Buddhism I practice comes from Nichiren Daishonin. Nichiren was a priest in the 13th century. At a very young age, he wanted to understand why the Buddhist principle at the time didn't lead people to happiness. So he went searching and searching and searching. And he understood that the main suffering of mankind was linked to their desire. And when people think about Buddhism, they think about separation. What I mean by separation is denying all desire, to let go of any attachment to be happy. But then Nichiren, looking at it and studying, realized that actually it's not possible, because being alive itself is a desire. So if we talk about desire, we cannot say this desire is more important and this one is not. And it is about human nature, and also it's about the timing of life. What worked maybe some many years ago, maybe it worked, but today, talking about desire and happiness, people are focusing, I mean, even myself, we had focused on happiness outside my life. But what this practice had taught me is that regardless of how much I am yearning about things in life, happiness is within my life. And so the main difference between this Buddhism and other form of Buddhism is the only teaching that really encourages us to go for what we want in life. Because it's through the journey, and if we are honest with ourselves, we can see whatever we are going for, whether it's is going to make us happy or is going to lead to suffering, basically. It makes sense. So yes, and I chose Buddhism, Nichiren is teaching, because it makes sense. All there's key principle in it, and it makes sense. I go to meetings. There's an organization called SGI. SGI is worldwide, Soka Gakkai International. There's SGI UK. I belong to this organization within the UK. There's SGI in the States, SGI USA, SGI France, SGI Italy. It's worldwide now. And again, it's all about each one of us finding our own way through life and finding the right path. And like I said, I chose this Buddhism because it makes sense.
Okay.
Right.
That's great.
So interesting, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
About desires. Yeah.
Yeah. Buddhism in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So, question about the book, that you wrote a book. So I started, of course, reading your book. It was really interesting. I really liked some passages. Some passages were really hot, I must say. Very explicit. I want to read a little passage that I wrote down. I really like it. If you're okay with it, sure. So the book is about a woman. She's African, and her name is Atta Sherif, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Atta Sherif. And there's one paragraph when you said she's thinking about the man that she wants, the man of her dreams. And she said that man needs to be able to smell like the famous acacia honey crawling on his golden skin, so that the option to lick it or not, the honey, of course, wouldn't appear as a choice. So I really, really like that passage. So of course, so the book is inspired from your life, right?
Yes. Yes, I was looking for Mr. Right. Yes, I had my own idea of how men, because I'm into men, or how relationship for what I aspire in life should be. And yes, I wanted someone sexy, someone with honey, whichever way you want to describe it. And yes, inspired from my life, definitely. But then the rest, because I am, how do you say that? The rest, I mean, it is inspired by my life, but a lot of things are very fictive, and I wanted to make it dramatic, if it makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I was wondering. Yeah. So, in the book, you mentioned that you went through, like, you were trying to find, the person, right? The character was looking for a romance, and ended up dealing and facing with a serious disease.
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah. So can you talk more about that, and what are the lessons learned throughout this journey? And because it sounds very interesting.
It does, yeah. So going back to Buddhism, talking about desire, it was that desire through my prayer, wanting to find the right person, that perfect man who is going to make me dance through life. I found myself, and that's what I try to explain in the book. I found myself through 3 types of relationship. Yes, the relationship were there. The character, I invented them, but it was, and in a way, that desire, rather than finding this person, when I thought my life was ready, I met Sarcoidosis. And from that moment, I was forced to really look at my life and first to confront this illness, what it represented to me, and also for me to clearly define what is relationship. Because I was in that place of loneliness, I thought I was happy because I had the perfect job. And when this illness manifested, I needed to look at my life on a much more deeper level. And most importantly, like I said, what kind of relationship I was looking for. Because all the glamour is nice. It's exciting. It flatters one's ego. But at the end of the day, it's not so much about having a relationship. We have to take care of it. So if I'm not confident in who I am, or we are not confident in who we are as human beings, as people, then We cannot be happy. And that's what the whole journey has been about. And most importantly, what this illness came to teach me.
Wow. Yeah. It must be a very interesting journey then. Like the process, the things that you learn throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. I guess you need to know more when you read the book too, right?
Yes.
You can tell the whole story.
That is the whole thing, yes.
Yeah, we're not going to tell the whole story. So, Mr. Smith, is he real or not?
Well, I am going to be careful. The story is inspired by my life. So yes, I was looking for Mr. Right, who was going to make me dance through life. Yes, I am a Buddhist. Yes, I suffer from sarcoidosis. And then the rest, I had to make it dramatic.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I have another question. So regarding your illness, are you okay now? Is it something that's curable? Because I don't know about that disease. Can you talk about it? What is it exactly?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for asking. So sarcoidosis, there's no cure for it. It is an autoimmune illness. What happened is that, yes, autoimmune illness is when your body shut down actually. And no one can say why. There's no real reason. When I was diagnosed with this illness, that's about just 11 years ago, there was no information. I was left alone. I do have the support, medical support, but in terms of connecting with people, it's just not easy to explain. Looking at me, I do have a great sense of humor. The spirit, everything is there, yes, but the battle every day is just a battle. The main challenge is that I'm always exhausted. Today I managed to go out because I needed wine. So yes, wine helped. And I'm always exhausted. I have to take painkillers every day. I am not going to lie. I am addicted to painkiller because that's what it is. And the treatment as well, intravenous treatment and chemotherapy. Unfortunately, it does help, but I just need to take care of myself. And I have to learn. I'm learning.
Right. Well, so do you have like any dietary restrictions, things that did you have to make big changes in your life?
Yes, thank you. I did try when it started because, of course, when you think about autoimmune illness and when it describes that it is your body attacking you, so there's a immune system that is meant to support us, to protect us, but it stopped working. So from the outside, I did ask myself as well what I could do, because if it's about attacking your body, so I tried to look at my diet. I made some effort, but it's not easy, honestly, to keep up for my own life. Honestly, it's not easy to keep up with the diet. So I tried to be wise. And yeah.
Yeah, and being restrained all the time about the diet or even the alcohol, that's not fun.
It's not fun, I know.
It's not fun.
Yeah. Something I noticed in your book.
Pardon me, which one?
I'm going to tell you something I noticed in your book when you said, because I lived it too. So I used to live in England for, how long did I stay there? 5 years, I think. And there's something that we have in common. So you said big cities can be lonely place for a woman. Where are the men?
Yes.
And I must say, that's one of the reasons why I left, because I'm telling you, I was saying to myself, if I stay there, I'm going to be single my whole life. It was really, really hard to meet serious men. You can meet any man. You can meet men anywhere. But serious, committed men in London, I think there's so many choices, too many people. People don't commit over there. And for me, being raised in France, when, you go out with somebody for 5 minutes, is your boyfriend. We talk about, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we already talk about that, right? In different podcasts. When I arrived in England, I was really lost. So when I read that in your book, I was laughing because I'm like, okay, I wasn't the only one thinking like that. Can you tell me about that? Can you tell us about that? Your thought? Obviously, you have a partner now, but...
Yes, I know. It's true. Because, so, like I said, I live in the UK for more than 20 years. I live with my partner for the last 5 years. We met 8 years ago. And interestingly, even though I work for a prestigious company, I'm not going to say the name because that's not the point. It hasn't been easy to meet men, even though I mean, the city is vibrant. I used to go out. I had the lifestyle, but meeting somebody, impossible. Honestly, and interesting, my partner is Italian, so he came from Italy.
Oh, you see?
And he didn't in the UK to meet me.
There's something weird about London. I don't know what's going on over there. There's something weird about
Giving London a bad name now. It's like, it's just
for single guys.
It's for single guys.
Oh, for men it's great. For men, it's an El Dorado. There's women everywhere, but for single women, it's a
I know, it's incredible. But you know what? Then the thing again, because in my book I talk about karma, this one concept very important in Buddhism and even in society, we use it, you know, action, reaction, cause and effect, and the way we behave and all that. So I think as well, I mean, I'm sure people do meet because I do have friends who are in the UK who met their partner, husband, and their life. And I think it's just kind of, we just have to trust as well. It's just about trust the rhythm of our lives. All I know that I am glad that I have this illness, actually, because if I haven't contracted this illness, I would have probably met somebody but be in the wrong relationship out of desperation. Because when you're in that state of loneliness, I was in my late 30s and it felt right. You know, I should be meeting somebody. And yes, but I feel that this illness came at the right time and my life was ready. My life was ready to meet me because it's all about, that's what it is all about. Before I could meet with an amazing man, I had to meet myself first.
Yes.
Wow. And so one more question before we wrap up about the like actually related to the Buddhism that you practice. How do you use chanting to get to manifest things? Like you manifested your partner and so very curious to know how it works.
Thank you. Now, yes, okay. Since I've been practicing for a long time, it's kind of like my spiritual practice. And today, my life, I am content. I found myself, and I'm just pursuing my journey to be a greater human being, to continue to grow and to take people with me, around me. So when because that was the time I was very desperate. I was really chanting for this right person to manifest in my life. Along the way, some men manifested, they were not right, but still I was so desperate and I didn't have enough wisdom or compassion for my own life, you know, to see. I just went along. I jumped into it because I felt since they manifested, they must be right. But it doesn't. And Sarcoidosis came to say, enough, you don't go there, to relax. And when I discovered more about myself, who I was, then he manifested. And he manifested in my life at a very interesting time because I was still struggling, still going through a lot of health problems, had to go through an operation, but that didn't stop him to come and meet me and to start a relationship with me. So in terms of Buddhism, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, it has a clear rhythm, and our inner self, even though we might not be aware, will respond to things. But since I'm used to it, then I'm able to observe my own wisdom. So when he manifested, it was so natural. I didn't even think, asking myself, oh, is this the one? I have to be with him. No, things happen in the most natural way. And what's so incredible is that he's a Buddhist too.
How nice.
I was not even looking. He's a Buddhist.
Oh my God! What a coincidence! That's a big coincidence. That's great.
Yes.
So something I really like in your book is sometimes it feels like it's written like you're talking. You have a discussion or a debate with the reader because
what I try
right?
to. Yes, you're perfectly right. Because in a way, since I'm talking about the third person, even though I'm
Mhm.
referring to myself, it's almost like an observation about my
Exactly.
and trying to take people with me through the journey.
See, that's the impression I had, especially when you were talking about the French food that you love French food, and yeah, I'm a Buddhist, but I'm still eating meat. Okay, leave me alone.
Right, that's right.
I mean, like that. I even learned stuff, that I didn't know about, the teeth, the lucky teeth, or
Yes,
why we call
yes,
it like that. We're learning
yes,
every day, so that was a good story. I really liked it. And also, I like to tell also people that you actually have other books. You have you write poems too, right? I saw
yes,
that you
yes,
have
yes.
a poem.
Thank you. It's been published in recently in September. I'm really excited, and
Congratulations.
this has been based on experience. When I wrote my first book, Manifesto from a Woman in English, but I have the French version too, La Femme
Hmm.
Révoltée. It was based on my life. I've always wanted to be a writer. And when this illness, sarcoidosis, manifested, it was like a call. It was like a
Hmm.
call. First, I wanted to understand why. Why this illness? Out of all the illness of the universe, why this
Yeah.
one? Because there was
Hmm.
no cure. And also because it was not, even though there's a lot of people today suffering from this illness, there was no information. So that was one hand. And then when it comes to the poetry again, I never thought that I was going to be, that I will do poetry. I love reading, but yes, it has been inspired from my life as well. So it felt right to do it.
Okay, that's great. What's the name of the poem if somebody wants to find it?
Thank you. It's in French. La
Of the
vie
book?
Yes, la vie est une jolie danse. Life is a beautiful
Oh,
dance.
yes. Okay, but
Nice
it's in
name.
French.
In French, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw also on your Instagram that you have a new book, 10 words. Is that a new book you're gonna write?
Yes, I'm
10
working at
words, sorry, that you're going to write?
yes, yes, yes. This one will be in English and in French. I'm working at it. I want to use my spiritual practice and to be able to talk about how I view things, life, and especially when we talk about emotion. Emotion can dominate our lives, and
Yeah.
yeah, this is where I'm at the moment. It's about the 10 words. This is not the real title, but I use this because this is my how do you call that? It's a bit kind of like the backbone, no, skeleton. No, I don't know,
Hmm.
but
Like a
it's what.
draft or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm using that to be able to write.
And that has to do also with Buddhism? Because it looks like it has
Yes,
to do
yes,
also
yes,
with
yes, yes,
right, yeah.
yes,
Okay. That we are like compelled our emotion, and that's part of our world, something like that's what I understood from your
yes. I
clip on
want.
Instagram.
Okay. I'm
And you
going
talk
here.
about, yeah.
I want to observe our emotion and also to observe that each one of us, we have some emotion who can dominate our lives. Last time I used the word
Hmm.
of anger because anger, we can all relate to it. This is yes.
Anger, yeah.
And but at the same time, it doesn't mean that if we are an angry person, that we cannot use this energy to create value. And actually, funny enough, today
Mhm.
I went for my walk and doing some reading. I discovered that there were three types of anger. Actually,
Oh.
there's the passive anger, where
Hmm.
people, they are angry but they won't say nothing. The aggressive one, this is the one we get confronted all the time, actually, when people will just want to give their point. And
Hmm.
there's justified anger, the one where you just know you're so angry, where you can tell yourself this is not acceptable, but the motivation is not about accusing somebody or attacking somebody, it's about finding a way, using that energy, finding a way for our own happiness and supporting as well the other person. And I thought that was very interesting, actually.
That's
Yeah.
not something I can do. I don't know about you, Sylvia, but there's no way I can use my anger to help somebody else or to keep it inside and use it for good.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to learn that,
I'm
to
saying,
kind of refocus
that's
the
right.
anger,
That's
redirect it.
It's right.
Yeah.
It's right. That's really the word. Redirecting, refocusing. And yes, yes, yes.
Maybe you can do that by chanting or something like that. I'm sure that
Oh,
really
yes,
helps.
yes, yes, yes. I do, but it doesn't mean that I don't get angry. My
Yeah.
poor partner, he gets it all the time, but well, he chose me. He chose to be with me. First is to acknowledge, like anything, to be aware and to ask ourselves as well. I ask myself, okay, what are you going to create that? Sometimes I win and sometimes I don't win, but I don't deny it. That's just the way it is, but I'm just learning not to create war around me and not to attack people around me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, that was great. I'm very, very interested. The book is available on Amazon. The poem is in French. The poem book is in French, and a new book is coming out soon. So we're going to put your information, in the description. Anything else you want to add or before we go?
No, I just want to say thank you. It's my first real podcast, and
Welcome.
the opportunity to talk about my book, because this is actually, funny enough, it's been published last year in September. So it's quite interesting that 1 year later, I am able to.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you for asking me those questions. I hope, that it will help people, and it just really encouraged me as well to continue my journey as a writer.
No, we wish you all the best, on that anniversary of that book. And, keep us posted. We follow you, on Instagram. So I really like your posts. They are really funny. There's a lot of very funny posts in there. I really like them. And, we're going to keep an eye on you, and maybe we'll see you again for the next book.
Wow. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank
For
you.
sure.
Okay,
Thank
guys.
you.
Sylvia,
Bye-bye.
thank you so much as well to you. Nice to meet you, because I connected with Veronique through the podcast, I and Mike. And yes, nice meeting you and talking with you. Thank you for your question, and I'll follow you too.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I loved it. Nice meeting you.
All right then.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Bye, guys. Take care.